Right, y'all, welcome to the Arms channel. Okay, so we're checking out another video from the Azov unit. Now, this is more scouts from the 12th Special Forces Brigade. Now, a lot of the videos that we've been seeing from this specific unit, I'm pretty sure it's still kind of like all the same recon troops, is them conducting sort of like call-out operations or sort of clearing operations, moving through these urban environments, kind of just, it seems like they're almost just finding stragglers who just happen to be staying in the area, and they're just clearing the area out. It looks like in this specific video, they're actually going to encounter some civilians as well, which I'm not sure we've seen too much of before, which is always going to change the dynamic up pretty significantly. Not only in kind of, you know, now you have to work with them, you need to get them out of the area potentially if they, you know, if they do want to get out of there, but also at the same time, your rules of engagement need to be kind of like more ad hoc on the fly. You need to kind of take that and understand that while you're moving through the rest of these buildings, you might be seeing more of that. And you definitely need to act with a little bit more discretion. Now, as opposed to kind of me in my sort of CQB role, whenever I was going through that, my mission, it involved a lot of civilians. So we had a lot of flashbangs, kind of like non-lethal measures to kind of assist us in getting a foothold in like a certain enclosure or a certain room or what have you. These guys, you know, they're already carrying a lot of stuff. They're not necessarily going to want to have flashbangs at their disposal. So generally having frag grenades is going to work pretty well for them. But again, when there's civilians, you just need to kind of, again, add a little bit more discretion. So should be interesting to see how they handle it. Let's do it. Jesus. Looks like there's only like one wall left and they're still just knocking it down. Lighting it up with a saw is some, oh my gosh. I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of that. A saw in close combat. Holy, that sound is like fucking hell. The glass blowing out and everything. So these guys, well, they're not rocking the ghillie suits like we kind of traditionally see. Golly. So again, more kind of like cleanup operations in a sense. Finding stragglers. Is that dog in the video? Or... Yeah, okay, that's in real life. I'm like, damn, there's a dog still chilling around after all this. Oh my god, yeah. Once it's on fire, I'm like, I'm not messing with that. If there's somebody inside, they can have fun with that. Dude, a saw. We haven't seen many saws. The saw, if you treat it right, is an absolute beast. You get kind of used to the weight. Jesus. Is that a grenade that they threw in, or are they on the receiving end? Okay, I'm seeing like splatters on the wall here, and I'm kind of wondering, I don't know if that's blood necessarily. It doesn't look good though. Is that splatter? I mean, oh my god, just every building here has such a story to it. But I mean, even this, what, there's, oh my gosh. There's just like a basement left, or like a little shelter. Somebody just hiding out in there, and although it looks, although it looks like completely decimated from the outside. What happened? I mean, that basement's still intact, enough for somebody to chill there. He's handling it super well. I mean, that adrenaline is... Adrenaline helps a lot, but it's kind of scary when you feel something, you don't really know how bad it is.
Ні, це осколок. Якщо залетів, поняв всюди ніби.
Like, I've taken...
Парні, передайте на мене. що я добіг
I've
до вас.
taken some fragments to my arm, but I haven't like getting shot.
Забежал до нас.
I mean, the adrenaline for that would be pretty insane. And I guess depending on where it is, if it's on like your arms or legs, you can kind of
Все чітко.
be okay.
У руку залетіло,
not
поняв,
completely
вище
freak, but
кисті.
If I felt some burning in my neck or my chest or my abdomen,
Нормально, я думаю, що там остався.
I might be freaking out a little bit.
Скажеш,
Damn,
що поки
okay,
не
so you
треба,
took, yeah, some
поки не треба
fragments.
евакуації, все заї...
So yeah, he's seen a little bit of blood, and you know, when you take anything, it's important to kind of like do a visual check, not just through your kit, because you can't really get a good idea of how bad it is. And you definitely can't tell just off of feel alone. So he did a good job keeping his cool and then doing like a visual check of it. They're moving really quiet. You know, as quiet as you can, I guess. But it's just terrifying. I mean, moving through these like side back alleys and stuff, especially when the windows are all like boarded up like that. In a matter of seconds, you know, it could just light up. Oh my god, okay. Golly, and they're still staying in this. How many? So what? I see at least 3 civilians.
Кот, привет, такой красивый кот.
У нас теперь куча котов.
I mean, in a weird way, like, yeah, you're kind of, feels like you're invaded someone's privacy,
Мы б сами бы отсюда удрали, если бы возможно.
but you gotta do it.
Так вывезти, а жить? Ну вот скажи, кто нас будет кормить? больше?
Просто наши сейчас
Yeah, that's tough, man.
приносить воду, если надо будет. Мы просто метку поставим, что сюда вам надо заносить воду.
Спасибо, ребят.
Oh, no kidding.
Давайте, ребята,
They're like, hey, we'll
сделаем
just
скотч.
bring you guys some food here if you don't want to
Голубой, всё.
evacuate.
Красный и белый.
Oh, nice. He's telling them the colors too. Oh, dude. Nice coordination. That's what's up. Super professional. That's super cool. They're looking out for the civilians like that.
Ой, кот красиво. И ты куда прыгать собрался? Да не прыгай. Тебе вообще ее не зачипать.
They even put the sound into the subtitles. The cat's gonna head out.
Давайте, иди дальше.
Just talking about the purity of the cat's bloodline. I love the random side chatter. After you've been doing some violent shit, you just talk. It's funny to see after the fact what's brought up.
И закрывайте дверь. И открывайте только когда придут на зеленом скотче. Возвращаемся назад по самой узкой дорожке. Перебегаем в магазин и, короче, туда.
Oh my god, just walking through like a little fence like that just opens yourself up to so many different danger areas, you know, if somebody is still. I imagine the guys who have been left behind are either like wounded or, I mean, they just don't, there's probably not a huge will to fight anymore. But there's more than you think. I mean, in what we've seen so far, there's still some resistance. And I think this video is just getting started as far as what we're going to see with that. Oh my, oh dude, oh that's so sketch. Golly, you can see the frickin' bullet holes in the fence where that dude wasn't so lucky. They just, oh my god, they just see somebody chilling? What were they thinking?
Обходь, обходь.
I mean, like, why resist at this point? Like, especially when you got a potentially team squad size element outside, and you're either wounded or probably starving. No comms. It looks like this is a bigger element that we see with a lot of the other videos. I mean, still not massive, obviously, as you can expect with a recon unit, but...
Ти поняв?
I mean, it's just crazy how much trouble you can have with one, like, you know, crappy little building. Crappy in the sense that the walls and stuff are completely blown out, the windows are blown out, the interior walls are knocked down. But because of that, I mean, you'd be surprised how much all of that can soak up the blast from these frag grenades and just block, you know, rounds. Golly. I wonder what the average amount of frag grenades is for like Ukrainian fighters, how much they're carrying. Again, like, I wouldn't feel comfortable going out on a mission without having at least like 5 or something. I mean, you just go through them like crazy. Jeez. Is this still the same dude on the inside?
Давай сюди їй. Підійди вище. Давай. Ти прикрий.
And although, like, again, you can see they definitely have the upper hand here with, you know, how they're attacking numbers, munitions even. But it can go from fine to shit really quick. And even just checking something like that, it's so easy to just not expect to see something, but when you do, you need to be able to react quickly and also with discretion, especially now that we know that there's potential civilians. And then it also just begs the question, like, do you go inside to ensure that they're actually dead? I mean, when you're doing these kind of operations, you know, you kind of, it's kind of what the mission looks like. What are these walls made out of? I mean, it almost looks like right there, it looks like, that looks like styrofoam, so it might just be like interior insulation. Where's the actual wall at? And y'all might have a better idea of like what these buildings are made out of if you do construction or something. Which, I mean, you don't think that that knowledge would help you so much in like a war, but it definitely helps to understand like where weak points might be for, you know, if you need to shoot through the walls, and also just understanding what would actually provide you some good cover. Oh my god, just that little, oh, that's a pretty big fire. Just that little curtain just makes it such a pain in the ass. Just kind of like we see with the dugouts. I mean, they can stop grenades. It's hard to throw something through a curtain really very far. And then obviously just mask everything on the inside. And even just, you know, when you're walking through it, you have to move that shit out of the way. Golly, oh my god, that must be insanely hot. What's happening now? Looks like he's prepping something. Oh, what the heck? Golly, there's spaces everywhere. The fuck did they throw down there? Fucking J-Dam. Fucking handheld J-Dam. Moab.
Я не кидав. Напевно.
Golly. I hope there's no like asbestos in these buildings. I mean, do what you gotta do at the end of the day, but hopefully there's no residual stuff they're gonna have to deal with later on down the line. Looks like there's a lot of fiberglass and stuff in a lot of these buildings. Golly. I mean, just the sounds of things just falling. The wall is just like slowly disintegrating. Stuff falling from the roof and the ceiling. Makes it hard to like distinguish anything else if somebody's moving around. Dude, what are these spaces? How, I mean, for like Eastern Europe, how many houses have these basement areas? It seems like all of them do in these videos.
Нет ничего, все сгорело на.
I mean, I know like for the Cold War, we had a lot of fallout shelters and stuff, and I'm not sure if that's necessarily the intent of why some of these houses would have basements, but
Честно. Да вот возьми два. Да я одну чисто. Мы зараз куди? Прямо. Правильно.
they're doing like a map check. Nice, dude. Golly, that flew by. I mean, again, even when it's not like just direct, you know, combat of them taking rounds and stuff the entire time, there's just so much happening, so many things to look at, especially with these blown out, you know, towns and buildings and stuff. There's so many danger areas, and you just can't be certain of anything. You can't get complacent, that's for sure. And these guys seem to do a really good job of not getting complacent and kind of being methodical and not just assuming that something is clear. So again, this is like similar to a lot of the other videos that we've seen, specifically from Azov, again, with them kind of moving in more smaller teams, kind of recon teams, doing the call outs, doing these clearing operations. Sometimes we see like prisoners, sometimes we see them kind of just, again, having a lot of issues with people who just are stragglers inside of these basements and whatnot. And I want to see like an interview of one of the people that they did take prisoner. Like, what are they doing in the basements? That's like my biggest question, is like, what are these people doing? And what are they expecting, just kind of hiding out here like this? I mean, I imagine you don't have any comms, you don't have, you know, any phone or anything. There's obviously probably no entertainment. So they're just kind of chilling there, running out of food, running out of water, probably running out of ammunition, or, you know, just kind of chilling there, maybe hoping that somebody's going to kind of regroup with them and help them out. But I mean, yeah, I guess, do you risk going out into the open and trying to find somebody to regroup with, especially with all the drones in the air? So, I mean, I guess I can understand it from that perspective, but it's like, I don't know, just trying to resist when obviously it's like hopeless, especially depending on how long they've been waiting. I mean, if you're tired, if you're hungry, if you're, you know, super thirsty, you're not going to put up much of a fight, especially against an obviously numerically superior force. So it is interesting. I would like to hear sort of like an interview or just some discussion with somebody who decided to kind of stick around or stay in place. Because again, mostly talking from my experience in the infantry, I mean, if it's gotten to the point where there's nobody left in my platoon, my squad, even like team, if I'm down to the team level, if there's nobody left, I'm going to try and make something happen. I'm going to try and find a radio. I'm going to try and communicate with somebody. And even if I don't necessarily feel comfortable, like if I didn't plan properly, if I don't have like the appropriate egress route, or if I just don't think it's safe, I'm going to do something to try and communicate with somebody. And I mean, at that point, just do what you can to kind of like regroup, especially getting supplies and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, if it gets to that point. Things have gotten pretty bad, and I guess it's kind of hopeless at that point already. But super interesting to see these videos, because seeing recon units again being used more of like a clearing force, kind of like a cleanup force, coming in after these obvious firefights. There's a lot of wounded. There's a lot of, dead kind of littering the battlefield as well. You can see with the buildings, you can see bullet holes. The buildings themselves are kind of like leveled. So it wasn't just like kind of direct fire, close quarter combats, but there was drones in play. There was indirect fire. There's a lot of things that happen. And I don't know necessarily how long these guys are waiting before they go in and start doing these clearing operations. I mean, it can't have been that long if you still have kind of like stragglers in place. But yeah, I would kind of like to know the background for that every specific like area as well. And if you guys could provide some of that insights, definitely let me know down in the comment section. But super interesting to see. Again, kind of similar, but also very different from other videos that we've seen just from the Azov units. But yeah, of course, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. And if you have any other videos you'd like me to check out, try and break down, analyze more from like the operational tactical kind of side, but if, kind of understanding the strategic implications of a specific battle or area, that'd be interesting to kind of break down as well. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. That's it for this one. I'll see you on the next one.